With Michael Kim, I'm Steve Bunin. Here is the weigh-in that you just saw on ESPN News minutes ago, but we've got ourselves a bit of a controversy, which we're going to break down with our experts in this half hour. This is breaking news here on ESPN News.
In recent years, we've seen Floyd Mayweather Jr. do everything but what he does best, even though he's probably a better actor and dancer than many would have predicted. Tomorrow night in Las Vegas, he's back in the ring to face Juan Manuel Marquez. And with more on tomorrow's much-anticipated fight, we bring in ESPN.com's Dan Rayfield. And Dan, we just saw live coverage of the weigh-in from Las Vegas. Now, the catch weight for this fight was supposed to be 144 pounds. Marquez comes in at 142, but they announced the weight for Floyd Mayweather Jr. at 146. So what's going on here?
Well, that's a good question. A question a lot of people here have been wondering. When they made this fight, they wouldn't talk about it publicly what the weight was. They kept saying a welterweight fight, which is anything just over 140 up to 147 pounds. I spoke to a number of sources over the last couple of months when this fight was going on, saying that, in fact, the contracts that had been agreed to were 144 pounds. And, in fact, yesterday with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Juan Manuel Marquez's contract was filed with them at 144 pounds. That was what it said. According to Keith Kaiser, the executive director, Mayweather's contract had not been filed. And when I arrived at the arena today and checked in with everybody to see if the Mayweather contract had been filed, it had still not been. I spoke with a number of Golden Boy promotion sources, the people who were putting on this fight. They said that it had been changed last night. They renegotiated a portion of the contract, made it 147-pound maximum. Marquez, of course, weighed 142. Didn't make a darn bit of difference. But from what I'm told, from our Jaime Mota from ESPN Deportes, spoke with Nacho Beristain, the trainer for Juan Manuel Marquez, and said they agreed to it as long as they were paid a certain amount of money over 144 pounds that Mayweather weighed in at. So they'll owe him X number of dollars for the 2 pounds he weighed in heavy. The number of dollars not disclosed at this point.
All right, so, well, the fight will go on then, despite what we thought was 2 pounds overweight for Mayweather, but apparently, as you are reporting now, that is not the case. All right, so let's get back inside the ring here. What impact do you think this layoff, 21 months off for Floyd Mayweather Jr., what will that have as far as his effect inside the ring?
Well, lots of top boxers have had long layoffs and come back and done remarkably well. Sugar Ray Leonard, for example, was off over 3 years, came back and beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler for the middleweight championship, and he was a fighter that a lot of people compare Floyd Mayweather Jr. to. So he's been in the gym. He's not been too heavy. He's been looking good in sparring and in training, according to a lot of folks I've talked to that were there and watched him train and spar. So you have to believe that Floyd, 21 months out of the ring, he'll shake off the rust for a couple of rounds, and then he should be just fine, I think.
All right, of course, another sidebar story involving this fight and Mayweather has been the reunion of his father, Floyd Sr., and, of course, him now training Floyd Mayweather Jr. for this fight. What impact will this have on the fight?
Well, Floyd Sr. is not training his son. That's Roger Mayweather. That's the uncle. That's Floyd Sr.'s brother. Floyd Sr. trained Floyd Jr. early in his career. They had a bad falling out almost a decade ago, and he was sort of banished. They had a few chances to try to reconcile. It never worked out. Now he's back in his son's life, being around the gym, but Floyd Jr. has made it very clear Roger's the head trainer. Floyd Sr. acknowledges that. He's happy to be a part of his son's life. I think they're enjoying each other's company as father and son as opposed to boxer and trainer, and that may be for the best. But Floyd Sr. taught him how to fight. Is no problem imparting his wisdom on him, and Floyd seems a little bit now receptive to those comments. And I think both guys are matured. And even though he's not going to be in the corner, you know that Floyd Jr. is going to be thinking about what his dad has said to him all through the training camp.
Sure. Okay. Let's talk about some hypotheticals here after this fight. If Floyd Mayweather, and he is the favorite to win this fight, what would a win for him mean, and what's next for him?
Well, of course, it would be a big win. Marquez is one of the great fighters in the sport today, even if he is coming up a couple of weight divisions to fight Mayweather. It would be a great way for Floyd to come back, make a statement that he's back in business, especially if he can get the knockout. Marquez has never been stopped before. And, of course, people will look forward to the biggest fight that boxing has to offer, which is a match between Floyd, if he's the winner, against Manny Pacquiao. If Manny Pacquiao takes care of his business right here in the same MGM Grand Garden Arena in November, if he beats Miguel Cotto, that will be the biggest fight you can make in boxing. And that's a fight that lots of people have been looking forward to. They've been asking me about that since May when Floyd Jr. announced his retirement. But they have the 2 interim fights, and we'll see what happens.
And, of course, what would happen then if Marquez wins this fight?
Well, of course, if Marquez wins the fight, it's a humongous upset. It obviously will put him into a pantheon of the all-time greats in terms of Mexico, where he's from, where they love boxing. He would be revered like on the same level as a Julio Cesar Chavez, because it would be that caliber of an upset. And obviously, if he is the winner and Pacquiao wins his fight against Cotto, it sets the stage for a third fight between Pacquiao and Marquez, because they had two tremendous fights, a draw and a split decision loss for Marquez. Lots of people thought that Marquez won both fights. I was ringside for both fights. I thought Marquez won both fights. Plenty of people do. So that would be a very attractive third fight.
All right, Dan Rayfield of ESPN.com joining us here on ESPN News from Las Vegas, where, of course, tomorrow night, Floyd Mayweather Jr. returns to the ring after a 21-month layoff.